Well, we're very fortunate in that both Mary Erskine and Stuart's Melville, there are two custom-built facilities for sixth form, a common room and a study area in both. But it does mean that these are reasonably recent builds and were specifically designed for a combined sixth form. They are a little bit away from the rest of the school, so that means that physically as well the sixth form get the sense of being slightly different, slightly separate from the rest of the school, yet still part of the community.
In terms of the ethos of the sixth form, it's to enable the students to become more independent in two particular aspects, I would say. Firstly, academically, with the advanced higher courses which encourage independent research and the writing of dissertations and other investigations. But also in terms of their personal development, the sixth form is becoming more self-reliant, becoming more responsible.
I think the obvious difference is obviously that it's co-educational. We've got girls and boys on both sites, but actually there's a huge amount of freedom comes in, and I think the students, as we call them, that's the first difference, we call them students, not pupils, and we seriously believe that it's a preparation for university, so we're trying to give them as much independence as they can have.
The teachers give you a lot more respect and they trust you more to do your homework and stuff on time, and they give you a lot more freedom and independence.
I think it's pretty much the same. You're treated like an adult, like an individual.
We have a more kind of license to kind of express our opinions and do like more kind of individual work and work by yourself.
I think what we have to offer for those who wish to go on with studying is a wonderful range of subjects and also an environment in which they can gradually get used to the possibilities of the next stage, which is often university or college for them.
Most of our academic subjects are available at advanced higher level, where they will have generally small classes, where there will be more tutorial work, more seminars, and the opportunity to do independent research on an area of the student's choosing.
At the moment, this class are doing their advanced higher investigation work, which is worth 20% of their mark. Each person designs their own individual investigation. They need to do research into the particular area that they're doing. They need to develop a method, and they need to carry out a series of experiments and write it up according to the criteria from the exam board.
In the advanced higher, the Scottish qualification and the equivalent of A-level in England, they have the ideal opportunity to develop independent learning habits and analytical rigour while studying subjects which they're particularly inclined towards in greater depth.
As regards the actual deadlines, which is a huge part of sixth form, where in previous years, you had to do a bit of homework for the next day. In sixth form, you have to do a bit of homework for 3 months' time, and teachers will help them plan that out and give them a structure to work from.
Some of them decide that they don't like that level of work, and I find that quite ironic because most of them say they want to go off to university, and if they don't like the level of work at advanced hires, then they're not going to do terribly well at university.
The work's been a lot harder, I think. It's kind of been a step up.
That you've got boys and girls really makes a difference. It means that the classes are a lot more fun, and you tend to get a lot more kind of discussion going on in the classes.
There are also some higher subjects which are available exclusively to sixth formers, such as higher philosophy and higher media studies. And again, they are taught in a similar style, which will enable students to be much more like a student rather than a pupil.
In order to make sure that the editing process is much more efficient, it means you've got more space to cut.
This is our first day. We're going to be using the cameras to film. I'm looking forward to it.
Quite a few of my friends did it last year, and apparently it was really good, so I thought I'd try something new.
You get study periods, so it's very much up to you to get all your work done.
This is a teaching period, and we haven't had to ask anybody to leave the common room. Those students who have a private study lesson just now are of their own volition in the study room downstairs. Yes, there are times of the week when you could come in here and there would be students socialising, and at lunchtime when they're not on duty, or prefect duty, that would certainly be the case. But most of the students are learning the self-discipline of getting themselves down to work during what are, to lower school pupils, free periods. But in sixth form, they very soon realise that these are for private study. The guidance system is very different in sixth form in that all students are allocated to a personal tutor And this is an attempt to mirror the system that happens in many universities.
Sixth Form tutor involves basically looking after a small group of boys and girls in their final year and making sure that they are suitably equipped.
It's my job to make sure that they're coping well with the advanced higher work that they'll be required, or the higher work that they're doing depending on the courses that they're taking. And I'm their sort of first person of contact, and also the person that the teachers contact in case they want to get messages to students or in case they have any concerns about the students.
Also, there's a range of people in the school, like Melanie Allen, who's the counsellor, that they can go to as well. But I see a lot of people who have problems. It might be academic problems or personal problems.
You can have another one. No one would chastise you.
Everybody here is a prefect, and they actually have specific duties and roles to carry out. It isn't just a sinecure or a title without meaning. And this is the manner in which we try to teach them that when you are an adult, you have responsibilities. And actually, when you confer responsibility on young people, they're not bored by the idea, they're actually flattered by the idea that they're being treated maturely. And on the whole, they behave as such.
They all have 3 types of duties to do. Firstly, they have a weekly duty on the school site, helping the staff to run the school at lunchtime. Secondly, all students are also requested to help out with evening duties, where they will do front of house duties at a school event and again get used to interacting with adults. And thirdly, all students are also expected to do some element of community service, whether as a buddy to a primary school class or a lower school class in the secondary school.
Yeah, 3 times 3 is 9, yeah, you're right.
9. 18. 182.
I mean, I help 2 maths classes and a S1 class, just because it's quite good fun and people look up to you and you're given a lot of responsibility, so I enjoy it.
It's great. They come in, most weeks, and they do sort of any task that you really ask them to do. The kids love it as well because they get a chance to work with someone else who's not me all the time. They can ask questions that they maybe wouldn't ask me, and it's just really great to have an extra pair of hands in the classroom.
Alcohol and tobacco use causes more problems than illegal drugs. I think we definitely give back what we got from the sixth formers before us to the first years, because they know they're going to grow up, most of them, to be sixth formers as well. So hopefully if they have a good impression of us, then they'll be good sixth formers.
They're doing all the leading themselves. Now that's a superb opportunity, a great platform for them to be able to develop skills that will win them those interviews that they wouldn't necessarily get those skills to practice.
In terms of charities in sixth form, there is a committee which is run by the students and they arrange a variety of events during the session, some small, just involving groups of students, but others for the whole year group to get involved in. And this enables them to get experience of managing and running events, as well as obviously doing something for the community.
Why do you do it? It's a charity event, so...
Enjoy it?
Yeah, it's really good fun actually. A bit tired out now though.
School colours are awarded to those who achieve a particular standard in an extracurricular activity in which they can represent the school.
I got my colours for debating.
Drama.
For hockey,
What do you have to do to get that?
you have to get into East District under 18 to get colours.
You work really hard at your sport or wherever you get colours for, and it's just nice to be sort of rewarded for that. So yeah, it's good.
My colours were mainly for rugby.
Make the most of sixth form because you have no idea how quickly it will pass, and it's a great year. You want to make the most of it. So do think about that and do the things that you really want to do in the year.